In this video, I'm going to go over how to install the add-on and a little bit about it and placing those models. Okay, so I'm going to open our program and this zone here, and we'll open in Blender. Now, I already have the add-on installed, but I'll real quick go over how to do that. I have placed the script inside the Tools folder, and I will post that update here soon. So to install a new add-on, I guess we'll just uninstall this real quick. To install a new add-on, you just go up here, install from disk, go to the programs directory, go into tools, and right there will be the add-on. You go ahead and install. Okay. Now if you press in, you'll see this new view panel right here. Click on that. It has the regions and it has the model instancer. So we'll choose the location for your models. That's also in the programs directory. Go in here, go to models and hit accept. And then you'll see the things that we added from the previous video, the trees and the radial. Okay. Now another quick thing that you're going to want to do whenever you use this program and where the rest of the add-on is located. If you have your terrain selected here and you go down to the materials property, you'll see this textures property. This is where you set your shaders, your main texture information, so your texture 0 and coverage and all that good stuff. Something you're going to want to do whenever you run this program and to make any sort of um, add-ons to geometry. So if you added cubes or you deformed the terrain in any sort of sharp angles, uh, EverQuest stores UV maps per vertices. So there's only one UV map for a vertices, and Blender does it per face value, so it can have multiple. Um, more than you probably need to know. But anyway, if you ever run into an issue with the UV maps not looking right, like everything looks great in Blender, and then you go into EQ and it is turned or looks stretched, if you go into here and you click the split vertices at UV seams, I'll show you real quick. If you go to statistics, this shows your current vertices count right here. You can see it's 6,862. And if you click this, it won't do anything now because EverQuest already has that split. It already has one per face value, sorry, one UV map per vertices. So it won't have any effect. But if you add a cube or you add any other sort of geometry change, you may need to do this. And it doesn't hurt anything to do that. The only reason I have it as a checkbox is it does change the Blender file. So that's just so people are aware. Okay. But yeah, good practice is just to run this ready check. All right, so let's place a couple of these objects. And one thing I like to do is up here you can see this magnet. If you go here and you pick face, and then you click that magnet, turn it on, that will cause the thing you're selecting to basically snap to faces. So you can place it a little bit easier than trying to get your z-axis lined up. What that does is it snaps the origin down to the closest face. So we can add a couple of trees here. And you can scale these. Scale it down. And you can either click this and add another one, or you can just hit Shift D, make a copy. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so we placed a few of them. We'll go ahead and save this. Okay. And something we added just recently is this direct to EQ button. Now, this will overwrite your current EQG. So this goes straight into your EverQuest directory. If you don't want it to go straight into your EverQuest directory, you can export to Quail. And this will just overwrite your current Quail file with the changes that you've made in Blender, and then do this Quail to EQG. All this button does is combine these two and automatically place it into your EverQuest directory. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. So take just a moment. So currently the LIT values are generated for just the terrain, and I'm going to be going over that in a video here shortly, just to kind of show how you can change the lighting for a zone. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at these in game. Okay. They're all loading into EQ every time we make changes. Okay. Oh, just real quick, these white areas are those collisions I was talking about. I will cover that in another video and explain why you don't need those. Okay. And there are our trees. You can see that these were resized. Everything's good there. And real quick, we'll just change the time here. All right. That is how to place models. It's very similar for regions. If you go into here, close out of that, you can create regions. One thing I did notice when I was trying to create a video earlier is that two regions cannot occupy the same space. I had originally tried to place a water area here on this elevated area, and because it was inside of a PvP region, that would not work. I will probably expand these. So like, I'm not really sure why you would need it, but if you wanted like a water PvP, it is an actual different combination. But these cannot be stacked. So I can real quick demonstrate water region or adding a region. All right, let's just grab. Let's do a water. Grab that, put it here, scale it up, and we'll do a lava region as well. Oops, zoomed out a little bit too far there. Scale this up. And normally you would put in a passable base, obviously to tell where these regions are, but this is just to show um, placing a region. All right, save that, and we'll make a new EQG. A couple things to note with regions is that you can um, uh, view them in the map editor, but me and another tester have realized that the map editor does not uh, read rotation. So there is, like, if you make a slanted area or something like that, it will not be reflected in map editor without like manually changing it. But that honestly doesn't really make too big of a difference because the server does not respect rotation at all on uh, regions. If anyone's interested, I can explain a little bit more about um, the zone regions and how to plug those into your SQL for porting and doing other things. All right, let's do put it back to the entrance here. Now we should have a water region right here, and we should have a lava region right here. Yep. Okay, that's it for this video. That's how to add models um, from the add-on. One thing actually I should cover real quick is removing them. So currently I was trying to make a change to the add-on to remove textures that were not being used, but that ended up actually being much more complicated than I originally thought because of the instanced collection type. But basically, you can remove um, the models from in here. You can just delete them. Oh, I should have minimized that. Hold on. You can just delete these models and then go into your main um, file here and then go into the Blender file for it. And then if you want to remove an object, say it wasn't something you wanted to have in there, you will have to actually manually remove that blend file and then erase its assets as well. I will try to figure out a way to do this automatically, and I'm sure there is a way. It's just I'm gonna have to spend a little bit more time on that. Anyway, we'll cover that later, and thanks for watching.